Zoom. Hey, welcome back to Nosedive, the 9-part series. So this is the 9th episode, meaning it's the final episode. And I have a great guest who will be joining us for this final episode of Nosedive. He is Gregory Foster. I got acquainted with him through Instagram and was impressed with his approach to discussing fragrance, his feelings about it, among other things, because his content creation spans other topics as well. And I just think that he's a nifty guy, and it's been a pleasure getting to know him. Just want to make sure that everybody can hear me fine. I'm going to turn this up just a little bit. Okay. So, we want to make sure that our volume is okay. Let us know in the comments, in the chat, if you heard my introduction, because for some reason I think it may have been a little bit quiet. We have 5 people who are currently tuned into the live stream. We're going to let some more people file on in. This will be my final live stream for the YouTube channel. I'm 99% sure of that. I am seriously considering moving live streams to Substack, and I will be returning to videos on this channel. So that is the important announcement. This will probably be the final live stream. I am canceling my premium subscription to StreamYard. That's $45 a month because it doesn't pay for itself. I actually have a net loss from subscribing to it, but it enables me to have the wonderful intro and the music and the the graphics and all that good stuff. But it is it's something that is just, it's not worth my investing for every month. So it's been a wonderful run. I've been doing this live streaming since 2022. Many of you will recall the long-running series Effluvium. Nosedive was basically sort of like a phoenix out of the ashes because it's such a similar format to Effluvium. But I think Nosedive was a very special series unto itself. I've really curated some great guests for this run. So it's been absolutely a pleasure doing this. We've had some great folks. If you are watching live, don't hesitate to leave a comment in the chat. You could even leave your scent of the day, afternoon, or night, depending upon where you are on the globe. Love to hear from you as always. Remember, this is probably going to be the last time I'll hear from you in the chat on YouTube, so make it good. So I have Gregory waiting in the back. We're going to wait just a little bit longer, get a few more people tuned in here live before we start our discussion. So we're going to be talking about our journey through content creation. Both of us, let's face it, I'm a content creator, and he's an excellent content creator. I'm really impressed with the stuff that the output that he's had since I've connected with him on Instagram. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the aspects of content creation, purpose, meaning behind it, the authenticity that comes along with it, that can be hard to retain when there is that seduction of getting followers and getting the attention and working with the algorithms, that sort of stuff. So it will be a great conversation regarding that. And then in the second hour, we're going to dive right into there's some there's some content creation influencer speak. Well, let's dive into it. In the second hour, we're going to be talking about some of the fragrances that have really that we've become smitten with, as I said in the description, over recent weeks and months. So I gathered about 10 of them. I can't guarantee that I'll get to 10 of them, and I don't want Gregory to think that he had to pull 10 fragrances. So, but I do have a few of them over here that I may get around to chatting about, and I'm looking forward to hearing some of the great things that he has to share with us as well. So we have 6 people tuned in. Without further ado, I'm going to bring in our guest. Please welcome Gregory Foster. Hi, my friend.
Hello. Hi. How's it going?
It's going well. 8 people.
Hmm.
Oh, as soon as you came onto the screen, we got a couple more
Oh,
people. It was
well,
perfect timing. They were waiting
yeah.
for you.
I wonder. My gosh. Well, I'm really, really happy to be here. This is super fun. I just
Yeah,
got,
yeah.
yeah, I just got off work, so I ran home and freshened up a little bit, and now I'm ready to go.
Nice, nice. I've had a
Mm,
little bit of time here being on the East Coast. I had plenty of time to freshen up, put in a little
all right.
nap as well,
Yeah,
have some dinner. But
yeah,
it's
good.
great. But it's great to have you. So,
Hmm.
where did this all begin? Because I mean, when I met you, when I
Hmm.
found you, you were already in the midst of doing this. How did this all
Yeah.
begin?
Oh, geez. Well, with content creation on its own, I would say I've been doing it for years and years. I've been on the internet probably since I was 18 in one way or another. That's for another show. But I have been making content seriously, I would say, for about a year. And the perfume has kind of always been there in the background for me. Like it was something that I just, I kind of scent has always been important to me and I've loved it forever. But I kind of didn't really think that it was going to be the thing that I ended up diving into in this way, I guess. Um, so I don't know. I think that well, I can kind of remember one of the main moments when it really shifted for me, and it was when I was in Iceland, actually. And I had gone there. I went to Europe for a 3-month trip by myself, and it was the first time I'd ever done that. And that was about 4 years ago now, I think.
Hmm.
So traveling all through Europe, I definitely got to experience being around a lot more perfume and smelling it in all these different places. And so that was just really fun. But then when I was in Iceland, I ended up going to the Fishersund. Um, I guess you'd call it a boutique or shop. I mean,
Yes.
it's kind of a multi-use space that they have going on there. So
Hmm.
it really, really kind of impressed me and really kind of made me feel really, I don't know. I just saw all the different aspects and the way that perfume could be kind of experienced there. And so I really fell in love with it. And while I was there, I was making a lot of content about the traveling and all this sort of stuff. And when I came back, I had gotten some fragrances from them. And I don't know, I think that really solidified my love for fragrance and seeing that it could be incorporated in art and in music and that there was just this whole other kind of world to it that wasn't just, department store perfume or it wasn't uh, I mean, I knew that perfumers were artists and that they were creatives and that there was this sort of other world behind it, but I didn't really know enough about it. And this just kind of opened all those doors for me. And so as soon as I started going down that realm, I think I think the first perfume that I really also kind of fell in love with was it was uh it was a Joe Malone perfume that my friend gave me that he had bought at like an airport, kiosk or something, and was like, I don't like this anymore. It smelled good there, and but it's Oris and oh god, of course I'm gonna forget the name of it now. Oris and Sandalwood. But
Or
anyway,
assistant mode, yeah.
yeah, and it just like, I was wearing that all the time, and it's like I fell in love with it, and I hadn't really fallen in love with a perfume before, and so sorry, there's a spider crawling all over all of my perfume bottles right now, but I'm just gonna let it
Ooh,
live its
I want to
life.
see him. I
He's
actually love
he's now
spiders.
making his way up to the camera, so you might see him. He's
Oh,
literally on top of the camera right now.
this is
Anyway,
great.
yeah, he's white.
He's
No, he doesn't.
white.
Yeah. Well, I'm out like basically outdoors right now, so they come in sometimes, and it's a moment. But anyway, so yes, that's kind of where it all kind of started, and then I just started discovering all these Canadian perfume groups on Facebook, and everybody was so kind in them and so helpful, and people were doing decants, and like I'd never even heard of like a decant, like that you could just, somebody
Right.
be like, sure, I'll send you 5 mils of this, and I was like, oh, okay, so I don't have to buy a whole bottle, and that kind of just moved things along too, and then I was hooked, and I was just like I've got, I still some have some of those decants from way back when, but having that access and building a little bit of the community here and getting that flowing really kind of got me into it all too. So, but sorry, this is a bit of a long-winded answer to what got me into it, but
Not at all. Not at all.
yeah, yeah,
I love that Fisherson was one of your gateway brands. That's pretty neat.
yeah,
That's a really cool starting point because they're definitely evocative. It's like even for like sort of like a niche type of brand,
yeah,
that's some pretty left field stuff to start off
yeah,
with, but really
I
beautiful.
know.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm I'm been really pleased to get acquainted with their fragrances and
hmm,
yeah, very wonderful stuff. So
yeah.
oh, please, by all means.
No, 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 go ahead. I was just gonna tell some story about how much I loved
No,
Sigur
you're
Rós
the
in high
guest.
school, and well, that basically is kind of what drew me to Iceland in general too, is just being in love
Yeah.
with Jónsi and Iceland and the music and all that sort of stuff, and so pairing it with perfume, I was suddenly like it just made all these worlds kind of mash together, and, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely into the junction between music and scent.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
that's pretty obvious with my with how I choose music with my Instagram posts, but
Mhm.
just even just sort of like the similarities between music and scent as well. You think
Mhm.
about music theory, there's a lot of similarities between
Yeah.
music theory and with
Mhm.
fragrance composition, even down to the most obvious things. I mean, we can talk about notes, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking
The
even in
organ.
terms of like, or like a
Mhm.
chords being
Yep.
similar to, chords and composition. And
Mhm.
yeah, I love it. I love pairing the two because they're my two biggest loves. Like there's a whole other side of
Mhm.
me that I don't really discuss as nearly as much. And that's actually something that I wanted to kind of explore more in my Substack. Like not
Mm.
necessarily to just limit it to just talking about fragrance, but
Mhm.
here's this whole other side to me. And I can tell that you're a pretty big music fan as well. So
Oh, yeah.
you've already mentioned Sigur Rós. Who
Yeah.
else? Like, what are some of your other favorite musicians and artists?
Well, it's funny too because this is immediately making me think a little bit about, I moved away from home. I grew up on the East Coast of Canada, and I ended up moving to Montreal when I was 18 years old by myself, and I didn't know anybody. And so I spent that was in 2002, and so I was kind of there during the whole takeoff of the Montreal music scene. We're talking like Arcade Fire and the Canadians like Feist and like all these
Hmm.
kinds of bands that were like Godspeed You Black Emperor and all these bands that were
Right.
really taking off. And luckily, enough for me, my best friend growing up, he ended up dating someone who had actually been a member of Arcade Fire in the past, and he was in their other band, which is called Belle Orchestre. And I don't know if
Hmm.
anyone's heard of them, but they're wonderful, and it's an orchestral band, and it has three of the people from Arcade Fire in it. So, all that to say, music was a huge part of my my early 20s and stuff, and being there. So I definitely had a lot of that influence in my life, and I've always felt connected to music. So, I mean, growing up in rural New Brunswick, some people may have seen my Tori Amos posts. I love her so so much. I wouldn't say that I'm like a huge fan to this day in the way I was at that time. She really meant so much to me then, and she still does now. But I'm not like a diehard. I really have been enjoying doing these pairings with her songs lately. But I would say day to day, I go from all different sides. I really think that for myself, it's really important to be able to embrace all different facets of myself, and I really like listening to cheesy commercial pop music sometimes, and then I'm listening to, like, really weird, Japanese ambient music, like, most of the other time. And so, I mean, I love Brian Eno, I love, God, I mean, I love Aphex Twin, I love quiet music. I have ADHD, and so it's either one or the other. I want to be like having my ears blasted with like intense, heavy beats while I'm like cleaning, or like Hole or Courtney Love or something like that. And then other times when I'm writing or doing something else, I want to be listening to like, the most kind of subdued. I know I love Dead Can Dance. I love, you
Cocteau
know,
Twins.
I mean, well, yes, of course. Cocteau
I mean, it
Twins.
gets like
Any,
goes without
yeah,
saying.
anything with a glittery guitar in it is great.
Yeah,
I
480
also,
artists.
yeah,
Yeah,
Slow Dive.
yeah.
I really love Mark Kolozak. I don't know.
Red House Painters.
Yeah. So I mean, I know
Yeah.
he was canceled a little while ago, which is, and
Oh God.
his music lately
Why?
has turned a little he had another band called Sun Kill Moon, which is just him basically, and then
Yeah,
he
yeah,
does his own namesake
yeah,
band as well. Sun Kill Moon is my favorite. I mean, that music
yeah.
is just, he's such a poet, and he's a classical guitarist, and it's absolutely stunning music. I could listen to his stuff. I mean, I've told friends that there are songs like this has to be played at my funeral. Like, just please
Oh,
remember, you know.
I
So
have cried in heartbreak listening to his music. But I don't
yeah.
even like I haven't even been in the loop with a lot of these artists that I used to listen to when I was younger, like
Hmm.
if you don't mind my asking, I mean, if it's a can of worms, like why was he canceled? What was the story with
Well,
that?
there were some sexual allegations from female fans, as far as I know.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, now I know. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we
it's a
don't
tough
really want to
one.
get. Let's keep this light.
No, let's
Yeah, but
talk.
it's like,
Let's talk about
yeah,
and
yeah.
music. But
I thought it was going
the
to be
point,
something kind of like petty, like oh, here we go again.
no,
But
I think it was.
that stuff's kind of touchy. Yeah.
I think it was pretty serious, and it was enough for me to
Um,
also step back. But it's hard. I mean, in these
yeah, it's
situations too. But
heartbreaking.
well, and
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting too, because I don't really love his new music. He's doing this sort of like spoken word poetry thing with these jangly
Mm.
guitars, and it's nothing like what I fell in love with when I started listening to him. So I've kind of been able to separate it and be like, well, I'm just like, that stuff is that, and I'm
Well,
gonna,
yeah. And
you know,
a person evolves and also devolves in life, and
yeah,
separating the art from the artist. I think that that is possible because people go through different
hmm,
complete different phases in their lives, and some people
hmm,
they evolve in a good way. Other people, I don't
yeah,
know, they have demons that they haven't addressed, and the way that they
hmm,
handle them or not, or they don't handle them, it ends up
yeah,
resulting in behavior that is unacceptable or self-destructive or just destructive
yeah,
to others. So yeah,
yeah.
I'm definitely not one of those types where it's like, well, I should never listen to his Red House Painters. Like it's
I mean, he made those albums when he was like 19, so it's
when he was
like,
very
you
young,
know,
yeah, very
yeah,
young. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Let's check out the chat because there's some folks who dropped in the chat here. My good friend Alex,
Hmm.
the Perfume Temple, scent of the day, Urklang's Apsu, which is a
Oh.
lovely tropical kind of green, lush fragrance. It's
Mm,
very intimate but beautiful. It reminds me of like monstera leaves and banana leaves and stuff. It's really beautiful
mm,
stuff. Very nice. And then we have B Shannon 67 Krautrock. Oh, I'm a big Krautrock fan, have been for
mm,
years since the 90s. Can, Faust, Cluster. I mean, Tangerine Dream is kind of adjacent. They're German, but I mean, it's arguable whether they're krautrock. I love Hans Joachim Rodelius, who is in Cluster. Prague, Psych. I was just listening to Emerson, Lake and Palmer the other day. Psych, jazz, hard
mm.
rock for me. 70s is my fave decade, but even now, there's some good stuff in my chosen genres. Godspeed You Black Emperor. I was going to mention that. I
Yeah.
actually was a music director for a very, very tiny college radio station in many years ago, my first round of college before I took a long break. But I was a music director, and I actually worked with the folks at Cranky,
Okay.
who released their stuff in the US. And I did promo and distro for the radio station, spoke to those folks. I loved Cranky, the label. I mean, Low
Mm.
was on Cranky.
Yeah.
Who else was
Love
on
low.
Cranky? Yeah, one of that's a long time fan since I
Hmm.
bought the first my first album I bought from them was Long Division, and that was like 97. Yeah, yeah. Very cool, very cool. Sarah
Hmm.
Ahmed for Cheesy Uncultured Pop is my jam. It can be my jam too. Listen, this is what's
Hmm.
liberating, and I'm sure, I mean, you've mentioned that you've let go of sort of like that pretense of only listening to cool music. I think when we get into our 40s, we just don't care anymore. We listen to what we love, and it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Do you know who I listen to sometimes? I listen to Billy Joel sometimes
Yeah.
because that was like the soundtrack of my youth. And
Hmm.
I've ended up developing so much more of an appreciation for these artists that were decidedly anything but cool when I was like a younger, hip, indie kind of guy. Like I've
Yeah.
let go of all of that. So uncultured pop, I don't know. I don't know if I would say Billy Joel's he was an amazing writer, but
Yeah.
even uncultured pop, I don't know about newer uncultured pop, maybe older uncultured pop.
Yeah.
Hiram Green, Slow Dive is delightful. Indeed, indeed. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Actually, when I was in Paris, I had talked to him. He's also a fellow Canadian, and
Yes.
we talked about that. And I believe he, if I'm remembering correctly, that's why he named it Slow Dive, because he's a big fan.
I'm fairly certain of
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like as a tribute. Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool stuff. So we were, bouncing some ideas around on what to chat about,
Hmm.
and yeah, we were, thinking about like this whole thing of us have being this public figure. I know it sounds kind of weird
Mm.
because it's like public figure. You think of like a famous person with millions of
Yeah.
followers or whatever, but we still kind of are, like
Hmm.
is it I wanted to ask you, like, how does it feel um to be somebody who is in a way expository, if that's the right word? Like it's kind
Mm.
of like it's kind of like we're getting an insight into your life, and
Yeah.
how has that experience been for you? Like how has that been received? I'm just throwing that out there. I'd like to hear a little bit about your experience with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I'll be completely honest. Like I obviously, can you imagine? I'm gonna lie through this whole interview.
Hey, he hasn't stopped so many other people.
Oh God.
No, go ahead.
No, I think I've always been a very clearly. I mean, I'm a pretty vulnerable and open person about most things. I wanted to be famous when I was younger. I really did. I mean, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, like in a trailer in the woods in rural New Brunswick, in like a very impoverished area. But I
Oh,
watched
wow.
fashion television. I read, fashion magazines. I was obsessed with like pop culture and celebrities and movies. I love film and I love movies so, so much. And I just had it in my head, that I was going to be famous. And unfortunately, the road to fame for me was going to be molded after Courtney Love. Like I thought that she had it down, and I was like, that's how I'm going to do it. Like I'm just going to be crazy, and, I'm going to find my way and whatever. And that led to me doing some pretty crazy things, including moving all to Orlando, Florida by myself, and to then going to uh, Montreal at 18 and stuff too. And so this fame thing or this being seen thing has kind of always been there for me for whatever reason. And it's
Yeah.
something that my mom said, even as a child, I was very like that. I wanted to be the center of attention. I wanted people to look at me. And we were talking about Billy Joel. That's what you said, right? Yeah, Billy
Yeah.
Joel. And that made me think about how when I was younger, I used to listen to Bette Midler. I loved Bette Midler, and I would put a towel on my head and like do shows for people when they came to visit the house. And I would pretend that I was on The Price is Right and that I was one of the like girls that was showing off the products and like look at this toaster that you can win. And I would do that in my house with like our fridge and stuff. And so I
Yeah.
think that's always kind of been in me, and this is maybe just
Yeah.
an extended version of that. And now instead I'm like holding up perfume bottles and being like,
Yeah.
this too can be yours, and let me just explain it to you. And so
This
I
too can be yours if the
this too
price is right.
is right. Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
If the price is right, and some of the prices are not.
Yeah. No, some of
Uh,
them are not. We can, if we have time, we can talk about that later
oh
too.
god. Yeah. But I like, I love people. My dad's the same way. He's French Canadian, and the rest of my family is, Irish, and it's a very, like, I just have this gregarious, forgive the word, sort of a way of being, and I've always been that way. And so I think that I had a past that I was very ashamed of for many, many years, and I had a feeling that I couldn't fully kind of embody this space and share myself in the way that I've been doing over the last year very dedicatedly. Like, I mean, I've written things, I published a magazine for a little while. I've, dabbled, but it's only been since I turned 40, I would say. Like, really, 40 was a huge, like, click for me. Something just snapped, and I was like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm doing this. Like, I just got to get out here. And then last year when I turned 41 was really like, I'm really going for it. And I just want to be honest. So I don't know. I think it feels good. It's like you see some content creators talk about it being a sort of exposure therapy in a way, like when you're online and you're posting. And I really feel that. Like, for clarity, like every single video I make, I am like shitting myself inside as I'm filming it. And, everybody knows that when you're filming these things, you're stopping and starting and stopping and starting and hi guys and blah, and you feel, I try to be as natural as I can, and I hope it comes off that way. But there's a lot that goes into it behind it that's, can feel a little awkward and a bit, I don't know, strange. And so
Yeah.
I'm still faking it till I make it a little bit in many ways. So I don't know exactly how I feel about it all. All I know is that it feels good and it feels right for me to be being myself in public. And I'm kind of, I have no shits left to give in a way. Pardon my French, as you said earlier, where it's just like, I don't, take it or leave it. It's I care about myself and I'm proud of myself for everything that I've done in my life and how far I've come and what I've done. And I'm ready to be joyful and happy and talk about the things that I like. And that's all I really care about now. I mean, I care about lots of other things, but that has allowed me to care about those other things too. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, it's liberating to let go of that self-consciousness
Hmm.
of whether or not somebody is judging you
Hmm.
or has this perception of you that is less than ideal. And as you get older, you begin to realize that all of that stuff is it's just in your own head. It really just is in your own head. And once you
Yeah.
realize that, it's kind of like you just don't care as much, even if they don't have as high of an opinion
Yeah.
of you,
Yeah.
because you're not doing it for them.
Exactly.
You're doing it. I've mentioned this before, and I think maybe in a conversation that we've had, on Instagram DM,
Mhm.
that people will find you. The people who
Yeah.
resonate with you, you will resonate with them, and it's a
Yeah.
feedback loop, and they will find you. And the
Yeah.
people who are not who are transactional, they'll come and they'll go. They'll
Yeah.
show up and they'll pretend to care about what you're doing, and then they're off to something else. And you can
Yeah.
tell. And you can
Yeah.
tell, and this is like a big thing that I notice as well as a content creator, that not everybody has that kind of honesty about the kinds of connections that they're making. You can
Mhm.
tell when somebody's like a little bit more Machiavellian in their pursuit, and
Yeah.
they're looking to climb a certain ladder, or at least the ladder that they see in front of you, to get the sort of like the notoriety or clout or whatever they're reaching for desperately.
Mhm.
And they'll use other people to reach that, and it's like,
Mhm. Yeah.
it's just focus your attention on the people who really are there because they like you,
Mhm.
they relate to you. um
Mm.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
Yeah.
I'm not as aggressive as as of a content creator, because I have all these other things that I have to try to balance. Not saying that you don't, but like you wouldn't
Hmm.
even know. I'll tell you later, off
Yeah.
the record.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to pump out a lot of content. So when I do, it's like I'm very much a perfectionist with it. So
Yeah.
being a perfectionist and that also is, it kind of holds things back as well, because
Hmm.
if there's just one thing that doesn't feel like it is exactly the way I wanted to execute it, I just scrap it instead of posting it.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely get that, and that's very much how I feel too. And my problem is that I end up delaying things for way too long when I that perfectionism is in me too. And I mean, look, like this is I spent like 2 days putting this together, and it's like it's a bit yes, that's very true.
Right.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I I realize that yeah, well, we're talking again about that sort of like wanting to be famous thing or whatever, like
Yeah.
I've never been aiming to be like a Kardashian. Let's be clear. Fame for me or whatever is it's not necessarily fame so much as it is being recognized and appreciated and understood, and that I have the ability to connect with people. And I would say that that's one of the things that this whole community too has really given me, is that I've just met so many incredible people who are willing to help and willing to listen and are
Right.
genuine and kind. And uh they I'm a bit of a lone wolf when it comes to communities and things as well. And so
Yeah.
I usually dip my toe and then I'm like, nah, never mind, and then I like kind of watch from beyond. But with perfume, I find that I've really been able to kind of build a community and feel really comfortable with people, and everybody's just awesome. And then meeting perfumers and stuff too, it's the same kind of experience. But um yeah, in terms of like making the content and stuff, it's a lot of I've been working a 4-day a week management job, which I've never managed anything in my life. And I don't, I'm glad they gave me the job, but I'm
Isn't
managing
it
like
something else?
it's wild. It's
Yeah.
managing 4 women in their like who are all over 50, and yeah, for a nonprofit thrift store. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
been fun. But
Yeah.
this past year especially has been me literally getting up at 6 a.m. and filming and taking photos and doing all that sort of stuff before 9 a.m. when I get to work, and then getting home at 4:35, and working until like 10 and or whatever. And so, and I have a boyfriend and I have
Hmm.
friends, and they live in Vancouver, so I have to go over there all the time to get to see them, and that's like a whole
Yeah.
journey on its own.
Right.
So squeezing all that stuff into, you know, but then you get the idea of like I see some of these people making content, and I'm just like, how on earth are you doing all this? I don't get it. Like
Right.
they have to be doing it like full time, and
Full
that's
time. Right.
full
Right.
time.
There's
But
just no other way. There's no other way. Yeah.
there's other like everybody's like filming themselves. Oh, I'm making coffee this morning, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm like, how do you have time to set up the camera and film? I could do it
Right.
sometimes, and I'm planning. I mean, I just gave my resignation at my job, which I'm very excited about, and I'm moving to Vancouver to try to do this full
Yeah. Yeah.
time, which is, has been my dream for a while, and it's met. I've reached the point where I can't do both, and so it's
Yeah.
happening. But yeah, it's a funny spot, this content creation world. And again, I mean,
Yeah.
I there are parts of me that think, "Oh, I wish I was doing this more seriously, like in my 30s or whatever, like when it was really taking off and everything." But then I immediately think, "Yeah, but I would never have I was a completely different person then." I mean, I was, usually like drunk in a ditch somewhere or whatever, and like not, I just was not mentally capable of doing the
Yeah. You
things
weren't in
that
the
I'm
right
doing now.
headspace. Yeah. No,
No,
I
and yeah, gathering information is what I tell myself now, instead of belittling myself and saying, "Oh, I don't what a waste of time." No, I was
no, no, no.
gathering.
I really truly believe that these things start to materialize at the right time for people. It's just when you're ready, you know.
Yeah.
Um, for me, I was ready at a certain time to have this kind of public profile.
Yeah.
after previous public profiles had run their course. Like I have a past
Hmm.
life as a DJ. I DJ'd for 10
Mm,
years. And um,
awesome.
yeah, that's like a whole other lifetime ago. I DJ'd from 2003 until 2013. And I can't believe it's been almost 13 years since my final gig. Um, but yeah, I think that, these things come into your life at just the right time.
Hmm.
Um, and getting back to the whole vlogging thing, like I think the excessive vlogging's overrated anyways. It just seems so like it seems so contrived, you know what I mean? Like, and plus, like, if people really wanted to see me making my coffee in the morning, like, they don't want to see me cranky. Like, really, honestly, I'm not chipper in the morning. Like,
Yeah.
and it's not glamorous either. Like, what am I gonna do? Go out and buy an espresso or something? Like, an espresso, one of those things,
Yeah.
or what? Or am I gonna get like a Lavazza or something? Like, oh, I'm making my
Yeah.
coffee. It's like I think
Yeah.
that your the vlog aspect of what you do is just enough. Like
Mm,
I wouldn't want you to do more of it because I like that you're well rounded. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I think that it's been part of my, I won't say it was a struggle, but I think it's something that I've been making peace with too, in terms of, this background looks nice and it's put together, and it's always kind of like this anyway. But and there are aspects to the way that I live that are very neat and tidy. But
right.
if you could see over here, it's like where I get ready and like stuff. I mean, there's a tube of toothpaste for some reason. There's cups everywhere. There's like old statues. There's things that. And over here it's like filled with like perfume bottles and samples and books I'm reading and tons of other stuff. And so I've always wanted to be able to, if I'm going to do those kinds of videos, the urge is obviously there to like clean everything up and make it look good and like make it presentable and have the nice gooseneck thing that I'm using to make my tea or whatever. And
I
um
love that, by the way. That
yeah.
whole the whole ritual of tea I love anyways, so I
Oh yeah,
appreciate it. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a big tea nerd. But
Yeah.
I mean that I'm learning how to include some of that. And I personally, this is not like, I mean, this isn't a huge thing. Some people are going to be like, okay, big deal. But like for me, this place that I'm currently living is, it's aesthetically a lot crisper and cleaner. And, there's hardwood floors and I have this interesting wall and whatever. But the apartment I'm moving
Mhm.
into it's a nice apartment. It's not disgusting by any stretch, but it has carpet, and it's only has windows on one end of the apartment that go all the way to the back. And so it's going to be a bit different for me, and I'm going to have to like kind of suck it up and like find a way to, I mean, I always can make a spot look nice. I always feel like
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze in To Wong Fu when they have to decorate that room and their drag queens are just throwing scarves onto things,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like zhuzh up the room. And I can do that anywhere, and that's something I've
Yeah.
always loved. I love aesthetics, and I love arranging things, and I love decor, and perfume has always kind of fallen into that realm as well for me. And so it's kind of, I'm interested to see what this next chapter will be like with me kind of fitting into that space, because I've been very comfortable here, and I like the color palette, and so it's going to be a
Yeah.
different thing. But then, sometimes even in this moment, me talking about this, I'm like, oh my God, shut up. Like, what are you talking about? This is so trite and kind of whatever. But as someone who,
Imposter syndrome, imposter
yeah,
syndrome.
well,
Yeah, I
somebody,
have it
as some,
too. I have it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just
And that's
like
life.
I love aesthetics, and it's something that's always mattered to me and has deeply affected my life. And I think that the things we surround ourselves with, and the colors, the textures, the items, the whatever, they do have a sort of, well, they have a value to us. We don't get to take any of this crap with us when we die. It doesn't go.
Yeah.
This is it. So I've learned to be unattached to it all, which is something which is, I learned that because I've moved probably like 30
That will,
times since
yeah, that will
since I
do
was.
it.
Oh my God. And so you get rid of everything, or you sell stuff so you can move, and, XYZ. And so I don't feel attached to any of this stuff, which is a big part of it. And perfume is one of those things too, where I'm learning like, I've got to be able to let go of things sometimes too. And it's not, I want to be a collector, but I also don't need to be like clinging to it. Like it's,
Right.
there's not another bottle of beautiful perfume out there somewhere if this one goes. But
Oh, I relate to that completely. As somebody who
Mm,
is a lifelong uh compulsive buyer, I've been very open
mhm,
about that. I mean, you have to have a little bit of compulsivity to be the kind of collector that I am. The
mhm,
attachment part I've really been ruminating, like meditating on lately. And I don't want to take up too much of our conversation on this, but it's the whole concept of like, I had envisioned myself as being this almost this archivist or a curator of like this museum quality collection of fragrances. But then
mm,
I realized that there's just this heartache that I feel, like this pain in my heart when I'm trying to choose just something to wear, and I'm like, I haven't
yeah,
worn, has it been 18 months? Has it been 2 years since I last wore that?
mm,
That's what ends up
yeah,
happening.
yeah,
Is that, yeah, so it's like a whole inner conflict that I have right now because it's like, part of how I've gotten to this point of having some sort of renown is because I have collected these fragrances, but then there's also a part of me that feels almost sort of weighted down by it. It's really like a
mm,
complicated thing. I'm
yeah.
not saying that I'm, going to be selling most of it. I don't see that happening
Downsizing. Yeah.
downsizing, maybe. I don't know. It's a tough
Mm,
place to start. I think that that's great that you are examining that where you are, because you
mm,
have a pretty manageable collection.
yeah.
The most important advice, and I can give this advice. I am qualified to
Mm,
give this advice because I've
yeah.
lived through this, and is to really be present with the things that you have acquired for as much as you can before you move on to the next things. That's my
Yeah.
advice for people, is like
Yeah.
really develop, even if it doesn't need to be months, it doesn't need to be a very long time, but
Yeah.
just get better acquainted with the fragrances that you have, and before
Hmm.
you move on to that, oh, I need to have this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my advice, speaking as somebody who has had an
Yeah.
extremely difficult time doing that, and I'm always thinking about the next thing. We have some great comments in the chat here. My friend
Yeah.
Salvador, joining late, better late than never. I'm glad that you're here for the live transmission.
Mm,
You and JJ are the anti-influencers. No rehearsed cadence, just sharing your world. Gregory, becoming yourself at 40 is inspiring. Yes.
thank you.
And Sarah says your new environment will have a different beauty. And I
I
think that
agree.
there's something to look forward to. The challenge of having that new space
Yeah,
is
exactly.
and to really embrace that challenge,
Hmm.
and find that it releases the creativity in you to
Yeah.
work within what seem to be at first the limitations in that space,
Yeah.
and then making the
Um,
most of it. You'll end up having something really great. I really
yeah.
believe it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I moved into a absolute trash bin, like a basement in an old apartment in the McGill ghetto in Montreal, and
Oh,
it
really?
was you wouldn't I couldn't like I cannot tell you how disgusting this place was, but they gave it to me for like $400 a month. They said if you want to clean it up, we'll give it to you for really cheap.
Oh,
And
wow.
I gutted that thing and repainted it and cleaned the floors and polished them, and like the clawfoot bathtub was like sinking into the ground. It was a nightmare, but I can make a dollar holler, and I can make things, look good if and I agree, the challenge is part of the fun too. And
Right.
guess what? There's content there. Help me,
Yeah.
watch me turn my semi-drab apartment into a, whatever, my brain can't not think that way now too, which is kind of hilarious. But
How you fold that into your oh, I'm the same way as well.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. How does this work into my content? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think
but
that
it's
would
like
be
art.
enjoyable to, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, for
I think that
sure.
not thinking of this as art. I mean, I had a friend who I love dearly, but when I started doing this, he was kind of like shifty about talking about it with me. And
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on? Like, he's like, I just, you used to be, you were a painter and you made illustrations and your journals are so gorgeous and this and that. And now you're just like doing this. Like, what is this? And like, why aren't you making art like that? And I was like, I had to really think about it because I was insecure about it as well, because I went to art school and I did quite well. I was in studio arts and it was good, and I enjoy painting and drawing, but I haven't wanted to paint and draw for a long time. It just the inspiration, the passion, the like drive to do it has not been there. But when I found perfume and started doing this, it opened so many doors. And I mean, I've made a video about this, but the way that it connected me to art, to history, to magic, to all of the alchemical world within perfume, to the sort of esoteric aspects to it, to the design of the bottles, to the artistic direction for the promotion of it. There's so much in there that is art,
Yeah.
and then you take all
Absolutely.
of that, and then I've found my creativity in making content and in doing these flat lays that I'm doing, and in like doing styling and like writing scripts. And so I'm being more creative, I think, than I've ever been. And I'm enjoying myself more than I ever have. And I will paint again and I will draw again, I'm sure. People have
Sure.
asked me to do it and to share it, and I probably will. But right now, the energy's not there. And I'm happy to not, I don't want to force anything anymore. I would, in the past, I would be like, I'm
Mm.
going to start drawing again because I should be drawing. And it's like, but you don't really want it. So why are you going to make yourself,
And you
And
really
this,
ultimately have to do it because you want to do it.
yeah. And
Not
I mean,
because
I
other
wake up.
people think that you should be doing it.
No. I wake
Yeah.
up at like 5 every morning and I can't get back to sleep because I am genuinely excited to get up and talk about perfume. And like that's a feeling I haven't had in a long time. And so I'm like, I gotta talk about perfume. I gotta, and it's not
Yeah.
in a rush to like get something done or to, make sure that I become famous or do whatever. It's just I'm genuinely excited to like do it, which is a lovely feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Mhm.
sure is. It sure
Mhm.
is. Uh,
Ooh,
Mountain Town Girl Karina. Is that what I'm reading there? Mountain Town Girl
Mountain
or
Girl.
Mountain? But then you got the W in there too. Mountain Town Girl? Mount Town Girl? Mount Town. Okay, Karina. Scent of the
Rena
day
can tell
is,
us.
yes, is Oritza Lagrange Tuberous. Ninon
Ninon.
Ninon de l'Enclos. Did I do that
Delinqua.
correctly? L'Enclos. Oh, is it
Tuberose,
actually
Ninon de Lencroix.
Ninon
Lencroix.
de Clos?
I can't say
Clos.
it either. And I
Ninon
speak
de Clos.
French.
De l'Enclos. And I took French, but it's at the end of the day, it's not as So,
Mm.
Oryx le Grand Tuberus Ninon de l'Enclos.
Mm.
That's as close as I'm gonna do it, but that sounds wonderful. Is that part of that new line? Because there's a newer
I
line of eau de parfum um,
I
that
think it
I'm
might
quite
be.
interested in. But I am a very big fan of Elise Legrand.
Mm. Ditto.
Yeah, yeah. I actually am going to be sharing my review on Monday of Muguet Fleury,
Mm.
which is my newest addition to the uh, quite expansive collection from just that house. I probably
Yeah.
got a 12 of them now. One of the new
Oh.
frags that, yeah.
Mm.
Very nice. There's
Great.
another one that is sort of like an eau de parfum version of Déjà le printemps. They're
Mm.
similar to it, very agrestic and
Mm.
grassy with hay. And I wanted to try that one. I can't recall the name of it, but it's also part of that same line, if I'm not mistaken. Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Um, I think that we're starting to get into the mood to actually talk about the perfume itself. We'll do that in a few minutes. I want
Yeah.
to make sure that we covered all our bases. Um, so we talked about, well, the imposter syndrome thing, that's
Mhm.
relatable. Like I feel that conscientiousness, and that's probably part of why I hide most of the time, and I'm not really
Mm.
putting my face in front of the camera all the time. I mean, people tell me like, "Oh, you seem like a natural. Like this just seems so effortless for you to do it." But that's what's fascinating about it. And I actually have a lot of friends who, and I've done acting myself as well.
Mm,
even if you are in front of a camera or on stage and you can do it and you find this thrill or rush or just like a passion in it,
mm.
there still can be that feeling of like, why the fuck am I here right now? Like, why
Yeah.
am I
Oh,
doing
yeah.
this? Like,
Absolutely.
and yeah, I've felt that for a long time. But what do you think is the way that are some ways that help you sort of counter those feelings of uncertainty about what you're doing
Mm.
and what you're saying? What would you say?
I mean, in in just showing up for to like film or do something in
Absolutely.
general. Yeah.
In those
Yeah.
moments where you have that imposter syndrome kind of
Oh,
creeping
yeah.
in. Yeah.
I think I without getting too esoteric here, I've been like a
Feel free. This is the right
right,
environment for it.
right. I've been a student of Neville Goddard. I don't know if anyone's heard of him before, but he was a New Thought teacher, and basically a lot of the principles behind that are basically the sort of bastardized version of all that is The Secret.
Mhm.
If you remember the Rhonda Byrne's film and
I
book, but
I do. I do.
yeah, and so it's whatever that her stuff has its place. I'm not going to poo-poo other people's yuck other people's yum. But anyway, his teachings and New Thought teachings in general are just basically about observing your thinking. And my boyfriend's messaging me, and
Don't worry about it. It happens to
telling
me
me that
too.
well, he's like, "Oh my god, I'm not watching. I'm crazy." Anyway, he'll watch it someday. Um,
There will be playback. It's archived.
yeah. But so when this is something that I've been practicing for probably a couple years now, but I've just been the thoughts and the insecurities and these sort of things absolutely come up. They're very real. I've learned that it's easier to live alongside of them and kind of name them. I love something a therapist told me once, and I've got other people who have told me similar things of, the idea of all of us are kind of driving a bus, and then all of our personalities and various ages and versions of ourselves are also on the bus. And they're also often trying to drive the bus. And, as you get older or more self confident, you kind of are able to be like, no, 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 I've got the bus. You don't need to take it over. I certainly still have the like 25-year-old, Montreal boy that's like, let's go out and get wasted tonight. Like, that's what you should do. And I'm like, no, 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 because we know what that does now. So, what I'm trying to say is basically that those insecurities and those sorts of things come up every day. But the vision that I have for myself about where I'm going, about what I actually know about myself, that, I know that people do care about me and they want to hear what I'm talking about. And that's
Yeah.
the reality of that's the truth to me, and some people might be like, no, I don't care. And it's like, well, that's your reality. But I know ultimately that I'm doing something from the goodness of my heart and I really enjoy it and it's a good thing and it's fun and it brings people joy. And so I try to stay in that world. Neville Goddard would call it living in the wish fulfilled. So you don't,
Hmm.
those feelings are real, they're there. You get nervous, you think, I'm never going to be successful at this. Like, when's it, I have a friend who just, I love him, but he's even more showy online than I am. But he had like 300 followers a couple weeks ago, and now he has 14,000. And I'm like, I've been doing this for like, how long? And I'm just waiting, but it's because he's a very handsome gay man. And, it just like click, 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 and it happens. And I mean, I could be
Yeah.
probably doing
Yeah.
more of that, but I am trying not to, but I still, have my moments. But I don't know why I'm talking about this, but I guess what I'm trying to just say is that I try to stay in the feeling of how good it feels to know that I'm already doing what I know I'm gonna be doing in the future. Like,
Right.
if that's not too convoluted, but it's like, I just think that I pay more attention to what I know is true and not what the voices are kind of telling me. in those moments, and I just plow through it. It's like, yeah, you're angry and I don't want to film this right now and I don't want to sit here and I don't like this and these people must think I'm insane because like, I must sound so crazy talking about this and whatever. It's all there at the same time as I'm like talking and about the perfume. It's like, that the imposter syndrome thing is, so much of that for me is that, I do have ADHD and
Hmm.
I have always had trouble memorizing things and retaining information in that way. And so for me, and it'll probably come up at some point when we're talking about fragrance, is, I'll want to hold something and talk about it, but then I'll be like, I adore this, but I can't
Hmm.
remember what notes are in it to tell you, and so that's made me feel like, I can remember some things, but not everything. And then it makes me feel like, well, who are you to talk about perfume then if you can't even say what's in it, and you can't remember? And it's like makes me feel like I'm in
No.
Sunday school again and I can't memorize my Sunday school verses and I'm getting punished
Well,
for it.
I really hope that there isn't anybody who has suggested that to you, because I have a lot of opinions on ways to discuss fragrance, and there's one opinion that I do have is, um when it really comes down to it, the notes really only tell you so much, especially if,
Yeah.
you don't exactly know what each of those notes smell like in isolation. And I, which is
Hmm.
what is really hilarious. And speaking as somebody who, I have like a background in perfume making, there are a lot of things that I have
Hmm.
smelled, and there are a lot of things, I mean, there's still a lot of things that I haven't smelled. And there seems to be this expectation with people to at least pretend to know what they're talking about when it comes to that. Like, I smell,
Yeah.
the. I'm trying to think of something where it's just like absurd, and it's like, that's not what that is. And I hear people doing this. But the point that I'm making is I'd much rather
Mm.
just hear you express what it evokes for you, what it smells like to
Yeah.
you. You can compare notes, not to be redundant, but you can compare your notes with the pyramid of notes.
Yeah.
But ultimately, what I think is great is when people tell me how something really makes them feel, what it reminds them of.
Hmm.
If it recalls memories, if
Hmm.
it
Yeah.
if it transports you somewhere, if it if you embody sort of like a persona based on whatever you're wearing,
Hmm.
those are ultimately a lot more compelling to me than somebody who is filing off the notes,
Yeah.
don't even know what those notes should be smelling like, or they're just
Hmm.
parroting whatever other people have said those notes smell like. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
that's what I appreciate about what you do. If you
Mm.
want to get into that stuff and smell things in isolation and identify the notes, that's wonderful too if you want to explore that. But never for
Yeah.
one moment think that that is a prerequisite to truly enjoying wholeheartedly fragrance. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's funny too because my partner he's a jeweler by trade and he also loves fragrance. And,
Yeah.
that's been something that we've been able to we dated 7 years ago and then we became friends after we dated for like a year. And so, but then last year in July, we decided to start dating again. And so now we're um back together and it's been great. And the perfume has really brought us back together. I mean, he was with me when I got my
Mm,
first
mm,
perfume PR from Heretic Perfume, and they sent me stuff
mm.
back in the beginning. And so he is now really interested in teaching himself perfumery and taking courses. And
Yeah.
and so he's got, I mean, I wish I could show you, but he's got a wall of materials and he's
Oh,
sourcing
yeah.
things and he's being very intentional. And we've met with a couple other perfumers, which I'll probably talk about later here in
Yeah.
uh, the West Coast who are making perfume. And so he's got stuff out there. And so it's funny because I'll go visit him now and he'll smell something that I've knew that I'm bringing to him. And he's like, oh, there's this, and this, and I can definitely smell that. And I'm like, what? Okay. So like his nose is getting better at that aspect of it, whereas mine is
Yeah.
maybe more on the sort of aesthetic and emotional and this sort of thing and building
Right.
stories around things and stuff. And so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's sweet. And I get to smell that stuff when I'm over there and help him. And so it's teaching me quite a bit as well. But
Yeah.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
on that note too, just briefly, I and
Hmm.
like maybe I can talk about it later, but I, I wrote an article for a Zingaro perfume. She's a local perfumer here,
Ah,
uh,
yeah,
for
yeah.
Violetta. We can maybe talk about it, but she, when I wrote that, I really wrote it from my heart about how I felt
Hmm.
about it, and she's notoriously not interested in working with influencers or having anyone talk about her perfume online like in that sort of way. Like she doesn't mind if people review them and stuff, but it's like she doesn't actively
Yeah.
try to get people to do it or anything. She's very
Right.
protective and she thinks perfume is very personal and it's a very kind of she just doesn't want people out there being like, this has, and like flying at the camera and being like, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
But
it's
after
I yeah, it can kind of feel like as if it's like I'm sorry to interrupt, but
yeah,
I could see why she's protective of that because if an artist or an artisan or however you want to put it for an independent perfumer has a vision and has like they can be very protective of their art and they almost don't want to cheapen it with that kind of
yeah,
approach or make it
yeah,
kind of a little bit more vulgar because it can get kind of vulgar. It's like if I appreciate a brand and then there's some
hmm,
bozo doing that, it's like, ugh, did the brand have
yeah.
some part in that?
Yeah,
Right,
and I
right.
mean, she wants to be successful. I mean, we've become friends since then, since I met her, but
Yeah, yeah.
but she's also like, but at what expense? Like, I'm not interested in, doing whatever. But all that to
Right.
say that I wrote this piece about it and she read it, and I had met her before, but she
Yeah,
wrote me back and just gushed, and she was just like, you get it. Like, you see this perfume. I'm so impressed. And it was really, really affirming for me, and it really made me
yeah,
realize um that I was doing something right and that the
yeah,
approach I was taking to exploring and talking about perfumes was uniquely mine and was also valuable. And I've had other perfumers tell me the same thing. And even when I was in Paris and meeting other creators and stuff, just I didn't like start out doing this trying to be a certain way. I'm just being
right.
myself. And so that's
Yeah,
something that's felt really good because when other people are like, "Oh, I love your content because it's kind of so relaxing." And like, there's not a lot of like relaxing content out there that's,
yeah.
in this sort of way. And I'm like, "Oh, okay. So I am, I just kept thinking you're just being weird and like why maybe you should have more flashing things moving around and like
No,
it should
don't
be more
change it.
active. No, I
Don't
have no
change
interest
it.
in it now. I think over
Yeah.
this year, I've really realized, no, this is who I am, and I'm gonna continue making content this way. So,
Because that's your calling card. People
yes.
are turning to you because you aren't using all of the whistles and bells and the flashes and all of
Mhm.
the I don't even know what people use because I'm not interested in using it either. I just
Mm.
like take for example the reel that I did on green fragrances. That was pretty analog, actually. Like, I
Mm.
don't know what software, Chat GPT, I don't do, what is the stuff?
Mhm.
What's the stuff that people use? Like, I don't even know. Like, I just use whatever is built into Instagram to edit it. And I did
Mhm.
my own sort of like special effects. So those
Yeah.
little, like in between that little rustling of green,
Yeah.
that was a trick that I did on my phone. I have a
Mm.
green Whole Foods bag, and
Mm.
I moved it across my phone across it with and did a video of it
Yeah.
very out of focus to make it look like that. That's the
Yeah.
stuff I get off on. I don't want
Mm.
things to kind of do like I want to be able to kind of create the effects myself.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's really fun.
I mean, that's the artistic aspect of it for me as well.
Yeah,
I mean, the lure is there for me, obviously, to learn how to make these things. I mean, there's certain things like making the camera come close to me when I'm starting to
yeah.
talk and then pull it back. I'm trying to do that here and there, and I still can't freaking get it. And I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I'm just 42 and it's enough. And I
You
know
don't
that's
need to do
silly.
it.
People who are 42 can figure these things out. It's not hard or whatever. But for me to just get up, make the content, and follow through on it, that's enough. Like I've shown up. If now I've got more time as I start to dedicate and not be at this other job, and I can learn some things. I think that I might be able to find ways to integrate it in ways that work for me, that don't, look, the way that they're going to look. But I think that's just like with everything with me. I'm always, you know, a little particular about everything that I do, and
Yeah,
maybe a little, maybe
but it
sometimes
pays
too
off.
much.
It pays off though. It does pay
Yeah.
off. It's great pace.
Mm.
It, you set a mood. There are all those elements, and those are not easy to, not everybody can do that. And let's face it, and
Mm.
I'm gonna sound a little judgy here, and I'll try to say this in a way that is not necessarily judgmental, because I want, I mean, but sometimes you just have to call it. There's a lot of content creators, okay? There's a lot of
Yeah.
people who are trying to get the attention. This is the attention economy, and
Hmm.
it is about whether you get seen, whether or not what you do is reaching an audience. How do you reach that audience? How
Yeah.
big can that audience become? It's a democracy, and not and democracies are not always easy, because if it's this kind of democratic process, you have
Mm.
so many vying for that attention, and
Yeah.
surely not everybody has a clear enough vision, the kind of creativity needed, and the kind
Mm.
of, I mean, you don't need to be the most charismatic person, but having a personality that people can relate to.
Yeah.
No, and surely not all of these people have that, and you have that.
Ah, well.
And that's why I like, people like you who do content. I like to elevate those people, because they're doing it in a way that I think this is excellent. This is the way you should be doing it.
Mm.
And you may not be growing as fast, but let's face it, to grow as fast as some of these people do
Hmm.
on their platforms, you have to do a lot of things that you're not really fully, your heart's not fully in it, that you have to like really change your technique to get as many viewers and follows and everything.
Hmm.
So there's a compromise, and it's
Hmm.
proportionate often to the amount of people that end up subscribing or following to you,
Yeah.
if that's your main motive. And that's not to
Mm.
say that you can't have a large following, but
Hmm.
I think it's much more respectable and admirable when people do it authentically and it grows organically. And
Yeah.
let's be real, most of it's not done authentically, most of it is not done organically. So
Mm. Hmm.
and I wanted to point out Salvador's comment here. Your fake it till you make it comment makes more sense now,
Mm.
regarding Neville Goddard. The law you practice, the promise happens to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's been the guiding force for me over the last while. It's this notion that the world isn't happening to us. We're projecting it out there, and it's actually not even all that esoteric. It's just like,
Not at
literally,
all.
if you think of it every day, if you're telling yourself repeatedly, I can't do that, I can't do that, I'm too old,
Yeah.
this isn't going to work, people don't like me,
Hmm.
what are you doing? Like, where do you think you're going to end up thinking that way? And Neville Goddard's whole point about all this sort of stuff is that, I always call it going to the empty well, because his suggestion is that you have to feel now that you already are and have everything that you want, because it's not ever about getting the thing. It's always about understanding that you already have it. You are already fine. You are already good. You are already worthy. You are already divine, if you will, or whatever, just by being here.
Mm.
Having a new car or having 10,000 followers isn't going to, you know, make you feel better. So it's about cultivating that reality, even though you don't actually have it inside of you in this very moment. You could sit there, it's not also about looking blindly into a mirror and be like, I'm beautiful. And you like absolutely feel hideous.
That
You have to
reminds
be
me of
like,
Stuart Smiley, looking
yeah,
into the mirror like,
exactly. Yeah. But you can be honest. You can say, I may not have X, Y, or Z right now, but I know
yeah,
I'm going to get there. That's
yeah,
that's a positive affirmation that's gonna work. It's not,
yeah, yeah.
and so you start feeling that way, and then you start, it's strangely enough, the weirdest things happen. Like I didn't even think I was going to be moving this fast. I thought I was going to leave in September, October. But then I've just been saying I'm going to be living in Vancouver. I'm going to be a full-time content creator. That's what I'm doing. That's my goal. That's where I'm going. And then my friend messaged me and was like, "Are you moving here soon? I want someone to sublet my apartment and it's really cheap." And I was like, "Guess I'm moving there." Like it just happened. And so for me, I try to follow all those little things. And it's speaking about the content creation too. It's like I'm I'm not trying to brag in any way, but I've had like some really big brands reach out to me and want to work with me. And like
Yeah.
they were reaching out to me when I had like 3,000 followers, and I was like, "What? Okay. Yes, I will take perfume. Please send it my way." So I'm so grateful for all of those connections. I mean, free perfume is wonderful. It's a great thing and I love talking about them, but the way that it's kind of happened is I've been just telling myself people want to work with me. People understand what
Yeah.
I'm doing. People are attracted to it and they're going to, they'll fall into place when they do. And I'm not out here like sending 1,000 emails and trying to get people's attention and trying to be like, be as, flashy and crazy as possible to do whatever. It's like I'm just letting it happen because I know it will, like on some level. That may sound a little crazy, but it's like,
It's not crazy at all. It's the way it
you
should
know,
happen. It's the way
yeah.
it should happen. That's the way to do it.
It's just
You
being
know?
confident, and I mean, and this it's also not lost on me that I'm gay, but I'm still a white man who is quite, I'm not gonna be whatever. I think I'm pretty good looking, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I had pretty good, healthy self-confidence. I didn't for many years, and I still have my insecurities too. I don't think I'm God's gift to the earth or anything, but I know that there's a privilege there as well, and I know that there's access that's given to some people that's not to others. And so I don't want to sound like I'm trying to talk like, "Oh, why can't you just like pull yourself up by the bootstraps and like believe in yourself?" And it's like, well, some people have a lot harder lives and have things against them that make it a lot more difficult to do this sort of manifestation thing or whatever. So
But
that's not lost on me.
don't sell yourself short though because of your origins, in New Brunswick.
Oh,
You
no, I
know what
mean,
I
I grew
mean?
up in, I did not start from anything, and
Right.
again, I mean, we don't need to talk about it here, but
Right.
I was in a career for which people can probably just guess at this point, but, um I was in a career where I basically was, self-employed for many years by myself, and it was
Yeah.
traumatic, and I really had to go through
Yeah.
a lot of challenges, and
Yeah.
I lost a lot of self-confidence. I was, I was homeless many times. I dumpster dove. I didn't just, spring up, like this. It took a long time.
Right.
I had substance issues and alcohol problems and stuff, and it's taken me a lot of time and therapy and healing and work to kind of, I've always had a thread through all of that where I actually knew that I was okay and I felt protected and I still had that knowing that I was destined for something else throughout that whole thing. But yes, I appreciate you saying that because I do that sometimes where I'm like, "Oh, well, but I'm this or that." It's like, "Well, no, I've done the work. It took me a
Right.
while to get
You've
here."
done the
And
work, yeah, and
yeah.
I think that, when this, the way of looking at our privilege can sometimes hide the fact that there are so there are things that we, in our own personal lived experience that we
Yeah.
overcome, that we it's important to identify that and also identify that you have been able to transcend that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? That's
Yeah.
something, yeah. And I
Yeah.
really admire your honesty and your openness about that. And that is also your appeal as well. I think
Yeah.
that, it's not like you're an open book all the time, but people relate. People relate to the fact that
Mhm.
you are this human being
Yeah.
with
Well,
these
and I would say
experiences, and
yeah.
you are the sum of your experiences, and it's just, I think that that's great. I think that's wonderful.
I appreciate that. I mean, I think it's also a kind of a segue into the perfume at last too, because
Yeah.
I can confidently say that perfume has completely helped me with my self-confidence and with my
Ooh. Oh, hopefully we didn't lose him or people didn't lose me. Gregory, are you still there? We have you frozen in a frame there. Um, if anybody in the chat can let us know, hopefully the we'll have him come back. If somebody in the chat can let us know if it's happening to him or or if I'm the one who's frozen. I think we may have lost him. Um, oh no, Gregory. And I was really enjoying listening to you. Hopefully we can get you back on soon. Let's see. See if I can. Oh, we lost him. He's probably going to be joining us again. Oh, okay. Thank you, Sarah. But it's sad that we lost Gregory there. And hopefully we'll get him back very soon. And I wanted to get to these comments as well and share them with him. I'm going to try to reach out to him because we haven't even started talking about fragrances yet. We might have this run a little bit longer than 2 hours. We'll see. Um, there we go. All right, we're going to be back in business. Hi there, my friend.
Hi, we're back.
Okay.
Yeah, no, what was I saying? I was saying the perfume being this sort of gateway to finding my voice again in a way. And it really
Yeah.
has helped me be able to be poetic and inspired and creative and all this. And I love perfume. So we should talk about it.
I think we should. Let's get to some of the
Yeah.
comments that were left here, and then we'll move right on to that. Pat earlier, and I'm sorry, Pat, that I missed this. You sent this a little while ago. Gregory, do you use a journal when it comes to smelling fragrances or notes? Usually, associating scents with certain words is all you need if you're not trying to be a perfumer. Do you do something like a journal, or do you take notes down and stuff? Or
I do. I've been an avid journaler since I was 14 years old. I have probably 40 of them now, and they are less colorful and less cut and paste and stuff than they used to be. When I was in high school and in my 20s and early 30s, I was doing a lot more of that. I would like to get back into that. I've shared a bit of it on my Instagram, a couple videos, and people have wanted me to scan them, or I actually have a plan because I'm starting a YouTube channel myself when I get to Vancouver. And I will be doing kind of deep dives into my journals and going back through my history and revisiting things and kind of bringing scent into that. And when it comes to perfume, I do have a journal that I take notes in and stuff now. But it's pretty straightforward. I love cursive. I love handwriting, and so it's a lot of scratchy sort of chicken scratch stuff. But getting back into scrapping and adding colors and putting things, I think will be fun. And incorporating perfume into that again would be kind of an interesting journey too.
And Karina says, your IG posts immediately prompt me to think more broadly about the many different emotional, artistic
Mm.
emotion facets my fragrances evoke hit on. They're so beautiful. That's very kind of
Oh,
you, Karina.
thank you so much. Yeah.
And Salvador says, strongly agree that Godard isn't really that esoteric. The world is yourself pushed out is a strong way
Mm.
of saying your priors shape what you perceive and how you act. And it's also that whole, the concept of the locus of control as well. You
Mm.
have the
Hmm.
internal locus of control versus the external locus of control. And I think
Yeah.
that was a big thing that had helped me upon learning that concept.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is tied together. So why don't we start talking about perfumes? I'm gonna have you kick it off
Oh,
with
okay.
something. The one that choose whichever one you're most excited to share with us.
Oh God, I have a whole bunch layered around here. Where can we begin? I mean, as a Canadian, I feel obligated to talk a little bit about some Canadian perfume and perfumers that I've been enjoying. I've been lucky enough. One thing I discovered when I started doing this out here too is I was looking for Canadian perfumers, especially local, and there are so many, and they're all very talented. I mean, you've got Untamed, Sunyata. She's doing really incredible things. You also have, and I've made videos about some of these people, but there's Floor.
We're
She's
just going to
100%.
zoom in.
Yeah, she's a
Okay.
100% natural perfumer, and she makes all of her own distillations, and
Hmm.
everything she gets is 100% natural. And I also love this woman. Forgetting her name right now. But it's called cracher dans la soupe, which I believe means like to spit in the soup. I think it's a French
Hmm.
expression of some kind, but
Hmm.
that's really fun. And I also, of course, we just talked about Violetta a little bit, but this is
Hmm.
Zingaro,
Hmm.
and her stuff is just incredible. I'm
Hmm.
just beyond in love with her work. She also has, I have three now. She also has one called Crypt, which was a gift from my boyfriend for my birthday.
Ah.
And this is spectacular. It's fumescence in it, and it really is. She also says that she has biblical oils in it, which I love that she describes them that way. But
Ah.
it's like myrrh, and there's sandalwood and some other things in it. But I love that she refers to them
Frankincense.
frankincense and the biblical oils. So
What if there's like
she's a
spikenard or something? Spikenard is a biblical oil as
Yeah,
well.
it is,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spikenard's a new one for me, and I only learned about it
Yeah.
from Sangue de Fruta. I mean, I knew it,
Yeah.
I've heard of it, but they have a soap with it in it, and I was like, "What is that smell?" And
Oh, I
spikenard.
love
So,
it. It's
and now
so cool.
it's very dark, and I don't know,
It's
but
kind of like in the same vicinity as like patchouli, but not
mm,
patchouli. It has like that kind of almost musty, earthy, marshy kind of
yeah,
quality to it, but there's also um grassy. It's so
yeah,
interesting. The oil itself is wonderful in aromatherapy use. If you just put some in sort of like a
okay,
diffuser, it is very
yeah.
grounding, very relaxing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have so many books too about aromatherapy and stuff, and it's funny learning about fragrance. So much of what we said we would talk about books too at some point. It's a lot. You think 2 hours is going to be so much time, but then it kind of chicks away really
It
fast there.
does. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, learning about, trying to find books on fragrance. I mean, usually what so many people are first exposed to is aromatherapy, right? Those are the most accessible ways to learn about it. But then it's kind of like, you know, I mean, it's not perfumery, it's
It's
aromatherapy,
not.
and
No, no,
it's very
it's
different,
very
but
different.
it's a
Yeah.
good gateway to learning. But, yeah, Violetta, I mean, if you like violets, or, I think this one also has fumescence in it. It's a patchouli and violet, and I say that this is like it is just the darkest violet to me. It's like almost a black violet. And I
Oh,
don't know how
wow.
else to describe it. It's just rich and moody, and it's strong. Like one spray of this stuff and you're like set for a long time.
Yeah.
And she made it for the Napoleon's ex-wife, I believe, in honor of her, because she was a huge Violet fan. Um, but another one that I'm really loving, another Canadian one, and I can get into some other people too, but and we were going to talk about Mon Sillage. I've got
Right.
two of hers here. This one is her Eau de Celery, which is
Oh, yeah.
it's incredible. I love this she's got these little feathers on them, which is
Yeah.
so cute. But this is a celery fragrance, but there's no celery seed or anything in it. She uses a lot of coriander, and there's some citrus in it as well. But it smells like a fresh stalk of celery. It's very summery. It's a little musky, I would say, but it's stunning. I really love
Hmm.
that. That one actually won a perfume award. I can't put the name to the award right now, but she did win something for that one. And then she
Was it
has
an
the whole.
Institute of Art and Olfaction? Did she? I
It
don't know
may
if
have
she.
been. I mean, I can
Yeah.
look it up pretty quickly, but
Yeah.
um, or is it even on the bottle? No, I can't remember what one it was. But if you can look it up, uh, I
Sure
also love
can.
La Haute Rue from her, which is
Oh,
another one that is. I love her labels too. This one has it's like a wrapped piece of leather that goes all around, and then it's embossed on it. And this is one that she made. Oh yes, you've got one.
that's the one that I have.
It is okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I am obsessed with this.
Yeah.
It's like it's a she climbed I forget what mountain it was, but she was on like a hike, and it's all about kind of ascending this mountain. And
Uh, it was like the Chamonix and the
mm,
it was like a ski trip, like between two. I know I remember one being the Chamonix.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It,
it's so good. I mean, I think that I can't remember, is there patchouli in it?
there isn't, but it's
No.
understandable that you would pick up on that because there is that sort of quality to it.
I don't know why I
Um,
get a little bit of a candied sort of vibe from it in a way. Like
yeah, you know what? She uses wintergreen oil in this, which is really
I think
cool.
that must be what it is. It's kind of the
Yeah,
top note of it's like a fresh, it's not sugary, but it's like
yeah. And she uses like menthol, like not necessarily
mhm,
mint, but like menthol itself. But
right.
she doses it very well that it's rounded.
Hmm.
It's not like super sharp, but it does feel like kind of like a cool sensation
Mm,
in the top note. It's
I'm gonna
very
spit some on here.
atmospheric, but it's also an incense.
Yes.
Um, and she definitely uses like I just smell it from the atomizer. I smell like a Popanax
Yeah.
resin, which
Mm,
does have like a certain sort of sweet toffee like quality to it in certain ways. It's really,
hmm.
really lovely stuff. Like this is my introduction to her.
Yeah.
I took a risk and I blind bought this.
Oh, really?
I'm not,
Okay.
I don't do that too often. I try to test things, but just from the notes breakdown, I was like, this sounds so fascinating to me. I'm just going to spring
Well,
for it.
she very kindly sent me this one. I had asked for eau de celery, and then she sent me this one as well, and I was very grateful for that. But I had no idea either. But the notes did stand out to me.
Yeah. And this actually is going to be, I'm sharing a review of this next week too.
Oh,
I think I'm
great.
planning it for
I
next
mean,
Friday. Yeah.
I think she deserves all the attention. Like, and she's in Montreal, and I think next time I go, I'm gonna happily go visit her studio.
Yeah.
Um, what else? Oh, well, I mean, I did do a video recently about this Vanitas from
Let's zoom in.
Lunea,
Mm-hmm.
and this was an Ordinal Faction finalist this year, and she was there. She's also from Montreal, and this one I just did a review on. It's this sort of like apricot-y, there's like a bread note and a cooked rice note as well in it. I kind of related it to these Rembrandt paintings of, these imagining this sort of like rotting fruit, and like
I love the
there's a
idea of that.
yeah, there's wax, candle wax in it. So of course I'm assuming there's beeswax in it. And
Mm-hmm.
so it has this sort of dark, um, not rubbery, but it's a little, yeah, it smells like beeswax on like an old table, like in, a very poorly candlelit room with Caravaggio paintings. And, I don't know,
That
I couldn't
sounds
talk about
fun.
it. Yeah, it's good. It's really beautiful. And I kept the whole time I was filming it, I was getting so angry with myself because I kept messing it up for whatever reason. I couldn't film it properly. And then I kept having to like spray it again. And I was like, this is a very tiny bottle of perfume and I'm tired of spraying it, like, you know,
Yeah. We
every
used up
time. And I
half the bottle just to try to get that good
yeah,
shot, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that happens. But
Now, what's the name of that one?
this one is called Vanitas. And in my video, I said
Vanitas.
Venatus or something because I'm
Oh, it happens to the
ridiculous.
best of us. Trust me. I've
Yeah.
screwed up pronunciations a number of times.
It's beautiful. I mean, everything that she does is also very sort of, I would say it's a bit goth leaning. It's very dark.
Mm,
I think she uses a lot of naturals in it, and
mm,
everything. I think primarily vegan ingredients, but she does use beeswax in this one.
mm.
That's
I
one
just
thing.
wanted.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to answer self. Is
Mhm.
Inspector prominent in arborist George
Mm,
video? I think he does use a lot of spikenard oil in that, among
yeah,
other things. That one's wild. Yeah, that one's. I love
I will
how it
not.
is. It just smells so greasy. Like, and I know that sounds kind of like
Mm,
objectionable, but it just has that kind of quality to it, like the, like motor oil and pine branches, and there's just
yeah,
some. It's very specific, but it's very cool.
I discovered that brand when I was in Amsterdam during that trip that I was on before I went to Iceland. And I forget, what did I bring home with me? I ended up selling it to somebody because I just wasn't in love with it. And now I'm regretting it. I still am like, why did I
Yeah.
get rid of that? Because I think at that time I was almost too deep, too quick in a way. Like I was just like niche. And like then my nose wasn't ready for it all.
Yeah, and he has quite a catalog too, so
Yeah.
it's not like we can really narrow it down that quickly. He has a lot of releases. So,
No.
do you remember what it
This
smelled like, or?
um I remember I almost got Pony Boy because I really loved the rhubarb in it.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, I can just see really quick here. I'll know as soon as I see the cover of it. I sold it to someone in a perfume group in Vancouver, so maybe I should just see if he's if he's still uh got it.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll share one of mine here. I
Yes,
picked up
please.
my first Stora Skugen. Um,
Oh, yes.
I like some of the releases, others not so much.
Mm-hmm.
But this one I never got around to sampling, but it received a lot of praise, and it is Silphium.
Yes.
And this is
The
the one
green one.
I want to spray this one. Yes, because I'm a green fiend. I love my
Yes, yes.
green fragrances. I love these caps are really something else. The
Uh-huh.
marble like caps. This is the inaugural spray. This was not blind
Oh,
buy. See,
really?
I don't do a lot. Yeah, I just received it the other day. Um, yeah, I sampled this one ahead of time. Yeah, I don't do the blind buys that often, but with Monsiage, that was just like I'm just gonna. It's kind of like thrill seeking,
It
honestly.
is a little bit. It's like,
I don't do it often, but every now and
yeah.
then I have an urge, and I had the urge to purchase that one blind. But this one,
I,
spent some time with it before I bought it.
good.
And it's primed the spray. Oh, oh, isn't this something else? I really like it. This is the best thing I've smelled from this house. And I think
Mm,
what I really like about it is this synergy between
mm,
the ginger and the geranium. And this almost like, and again, I think people take these descriptions the wrong way. Um, Sour, but it's like
yeah.
like sort of a satisfying sour, not like a, oh, that's sour, not
Mm,
curdled sour, but like sour is as in, sort of that astringent quality of certain tastes, but you're getting it in scent,
mm. Yes,
and
I have the
yeah.
Discovery set over here. I'm
Mm.
like tempted to run and grab it, but that was also one of my favorites. And I don't know why when I was buying, I have two, and I ended up getting Moon Milk instead.
That one I liked too. Yeah. I have a lot of fragrances that are in that sort of vicinity. So
Yeah,
I liked it, but it was like, do I really need that fifth
yeah.
milky sandalwood kind of thing? Like, but it's great. But this one was unique to me. Oh, look at that ball disappear there. uh,
Yeah,
um,
it's a really beautiful fragrance, and it is very green and verdant
yeah.
to me. Like it's um I'm trying. I almost want to go grab my little sample set because
You
now I
go
want to
for
smell it.
oh, go for it.
And also, I remembered it's Athenium. Athenium is the jorum that I had, which was
Oh,
it's a
yeah, that one's
beeswax and Scottish lavender with neroli and
that's
Moroccan
nice.
leather. It is,
I
and now I'm looking at the
yeah,
notes and I'm like, I would probably love that now if
yeah.
I had it.
Oh, you know what's really coming through now on this? There's a
I
lot
can
of
still hear you.
there's a lot of labdanum as well. And
Oh,
what's
yes.
kind of interesting about it, and I love when perfumers, when they compose something, that they have this capacity to push upward or exalt, if you will, a
Okay, yeah.
certain element earlier on in the development. Um, because when you're thinking in terms of labdanum as a base note, it's not to say that you have to wait until it dries down in the base. That's this huge misconception that I always have to correct
Yes.
people on. But it is true that labdanum isn't as immediately noticeable often until it settles a bit. But what's cool about this one, and even it's suggested in the notes pyramid, I just took a quick look. It's shown as a top note, interestingly enough. I don't know if that's really accurate, but it
Mm,
does come out pretty soon. And then there's like this pepper and spices, and but it's
yeah.
still green at the same time. It's a very it is a unique green scent.
I like
I'm
that
really into it.
I like that they say that there's just the note of forest flowers is all
Forest
they
fu-
get
It's
all
my
they give
favorite.
you. So
My,
it's like, okay, what ones are they, I wonder?
well, that can be part of your imagination, and you can imagine what they
Exactly,
may
right?
be. And I love that. I love when are these sort of like elliptical descriptions or notes where it's like you can kind of feel like you can finish the rest. You can surmise on your own what you're smelling, but they are
Yeah.
forest flowers.
Forest flowers. Oh, here we are. Geez, it took me
Maybe
forever. There's
daisies. Some daisies, some
daisies.
yeah, well, some daisies smell like feet, and I don't want to give people the impression that they do with you.
It's true. I almost brought some in for this to put behind me here, but I didn't. I just
Um,
want to smell it now that we're
well,
yes.
maybe other flowers in the aster family. Maybe like chamomile or yarrow or something, or
Hmm.
like those herbaceous smelling flowers. It's really beautiful. I'm very excited to write a review on this one. I have it
Yeah.
lined up in the next couple of weeks, but yeah,
It's
I
fun.
was
Yeah,
very
it's
pleased with
funny.
this.
I'm glad that you grabbed it. I mean, it's funny too with the bottle caps. It's funny because I've always loved the caps of those so
Yeah,
much. And then
yeah.
the two that I've actually bought are the two that have like nothing. They're just like blank. I mean, they're still beautiful and very artsy, but I'm like, why? I still need to get one with a marble or a
You got to
big
get one.
flower
This
on
is
it.
the one with the marble that you need to get.
Yeah.
The Sylphium.
Yeah. You know,
Oh,
I have struggled a little bit with hexen or not, this isn't hexen sable. It's
is that pine? Oh,
no,
Hextensab. Isn't that
it is
Hextensab?
hexen. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the witchcraft one, which
yeah,
I'm very witchy and
yeah, yeah. I
it's wonderful,
gotcha.
but it is very licoricey and it's
Yeah,
and I like licorice, but I think I was just more attracted to the story than I was even the
the actual
fragrance.
fragrance. Yeah.
And yeah, and so I'm learning to love it, and
Okay.
it's slowly growing on me. But it's one of those ones that sometimes I buy things and it's not that they just sit there. It's just I'm like, you and I will become friends soon enough. I know, but I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
you
Sometimes
know
it just involves cultivating a relationship. Sometimes it's not love at first sniff, and
no.
that's okay. I just wanted to point out, Salvador, mentioning one of my favorite
Yes.
fragrances of all time, which is Coriandre from Jean Couturier.
Mm,
It is a classic from the 70s. It is this a coriander and rose based chypre.
mm.
And it is still you can pick up a bottle. It's pretty affordable. Like this is not like You don't have to spend like these $150 that these other fragrances often go for. You could get a decent bottle of coriandre, even new, more recent versions, I don't know, maybe 20, $30. And it's a
Oh, really?
classic. It's iconic. It's iconic. And newer versions, newer formulations of it are still wonderful. I recommend that anybody just, even if you don't like it, it's not like you know, you
Yeah.
wasted a bunch of money, but I can't see you not appreciating it. I was gonna
Yeah.
mention with Hexenstaub, um,
Hmm.
I liked it, but I wanted more wormwood out of it. I felt like
Mm.
you, it was like, this is nice, and I love licorice, and I love anise, I love anything anisic. I already have, this is the thing, like I circle around to themes pretty often to the point where it's like, why? I mean, this is great, but why when I already have this? And
Mm.
that was the thing. I was like, well, this is, I mean, it's a somewhat herbal, licoricey kind of scent.
Hmm.
But what was missing was that wormwood. And I think
Yeah.
wormwood is different. People think it's the same thing. It's like, no, 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 no. Wormwood is it's adjacent to mint, but it's not mint. Like it is its own kind of feel. It's kind
Right.
of like the only way that I could describe it is if you were looking at like a color wheel of different smells, and somehow pine would be here and mint would be here. Like
Mm.
Artemisia plants like mugwort and wormwood would be kind of like in the middle, its own thing in between it, where it's like
Oh, I see. Yep.
it's a herbaceous, coniferous, a little minty.
Hmm.
There's actually a compound in it, and it's called thujone. Thujone also happens to be what gives it its sort of intoxicating narcotic kind of dangerous
Yeah.
quality, which is why it's added to absinthe. But thujone as well is a characteristic smell, and it is that thing where it's like
Mm.
somewhat coniferous, somewhat green, somewhat herbaceous, somewhat minty, but it's its own thing as far as I'm concerned. Um, and it's in wormwood, and now I'm going to
Hmm.
start to really nerd out. I'm sorry if I'm going off on a
That's
tangent, but
okay.
thujone, actually the root of the word thujone is from thuja, which is a
Mm.
type of tree that is in the cedar family, which has a very high content of
Hmm.
thujone. And when you crush the leaves, or like kind of like the scaly needles of this thuja tree, and it is a
Hmm.
conifer, there's a high content of thujone, and it smells like kind of like wormwood, like a more
Okay.
cedar leafy wormwood. So sorry, I get tangential.
No,
This is
no.
this is the
I'm
stuff I live
smelling this and
for.
and learning. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Um, a great wormwood scent is a scent that isn't presented as such. It
Mm.
is actually called oh, what is it called? And it's like it's actually called it's from Acro, and it is called, and I have it. And I can't remember the name of it, but it's supposed to evoke cannabis, but to me, it doesn't smell like cannabis.
Okay.
Think of a word. What's a word associated with cannabis? But I'm struggling to remember it. Maybe somebody in
Stoned.
the chat. Huh?
Stoned. I
Stoned.
don't
I
know. I'm
know.
just.
No, it's not stoned. um, this is killing me. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Well, you look
Uh,
it up. I can comment more on the Hexen tablets as well because I
Haze.
think
Haze.
haze. Oh yeah,
Haze. Yeah.
there you go.
Oh,
I feel like
so
I've heard
good.
of that.
And the top notes into the heart is just all wormwood. I
Mm,
fucking love it. It's
amazing.
great. Yes, thank you, Salvatore. I just
Yeah.
remembered it just as you sent that in. Sarah says forests in different countries will have different flowers. Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, she said zoologist sloth is my only spikenard experience, I believe. Very
Mm.
nice.
I haven't smelled sloth yet.
Mm. Still feeling this Sylphium here.
Yes.
And I love it's like that it's not pretty, okay?
It's not. It's very.
Not
It's got a sort
not
of.
not conventionally pretty, at least. Conventionally, it's unconventionally handsome or attractive, but
Yes.
This is not this is no kind of namby-pamby, like, oh, it smells like, freshly mown grass and geranium leaves. There's like really some sticky, unctuous, resinous and incensey stuff that's going on with it, which I think is really cool because you don't often see that um the merging of like a very characteristically green aromatic scent with incense. And I think that's what's really
It's
cool about it.
it's putting my nose to something. I can't put my finger on it right now, but there's a little bit of a soapy quality to me, a little.
Okay.
But maybe it's not soap. I feel like it's something that I've just smelled recently. But of
I,
course, I'm smelling 1,000 things a day. It might be Olimra's Achillea.
okay. Okay.
Just because I was wearing that today, and there's just something there a little bit
All
with
right.
that. Maybe it's that. I'm not sure.
It's really, really wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased to have added it to my collection, and I really wanted something from the house, but
Hmm.
everything that I had smelled other than this was like, oh, that's nice, or that's okay. And this one, Silphium,
Hmm.
really made an impression on me, and again, I think it is this a really unique merging of green aromatics with deep resins and incense that
Mm.
creates maybe what you're calling that soapiness. And when I was thinking soapy, when
Hmm.
you mentioned soapy, I was like, well, it's not really exactly like the kind of soap that you would buy at, you know, a pharmacy drugstore, like the kind that you would go to like a natural store kind of, and
Yes.
somebody would put together, different kinds of oils and exudates and stuff to create like this
Yes.
yeah, very
No,
cool.
it's reminding me of something that I've just smelled too, and that's why it's gonna drive me crazy. But again,
Hello.
I've um uh I've got a couple other things that I've kind of been loving.
Please.
I could kind of I don't know if I should.
And if
What?
anybody hasn't liked the stream, please do so because it does allow people to find this. We only have 10
Mm,
likes so far, so if we can try to get it up to at least 20 by the end of the live stream,
mm,
that I can accept that. So look at everybody else who was helping out with the haze when I was in a haze.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Everybody's trying to help. Oh
Elmira
yes,
is a house I hope to explore.
Olimri.
Are you familiar with that one, Gregory?
Olimri, yes. So I met
Oh,
her in
Olimra. I
Paris.
said Elmira. Sorry about
Yeah.
Olimra.
Oh, I believe it's Olimra, yes. So I'm going to be reviewing Achillea this hopefully, well, maybe next week. I'm going to
Oh,
Vancouver
that's what you were
tomorrow.
mentioning earlier. I apologize. I only caught the
Yeah.
Achillea and not the name. Okay.
Yeah, from her, and it's got this sort of yarrow like vibe in it, because of
Mm,
the plant that's in it, which is an Achillea plant. But
right.
anyway, yes. Um Yeah, so I've got a couple others. I mean, there's people may know my absolute like adoration for Chapel Factory. I really love
Yeah.
Anais. So I've got Hermit Coat, which I've been wearing quite a bit, and I actually have this very sad bottle of Cornet, which is her newest fragrance, but uh, it it lost a lot of its
Oh
juice on the way
no.
here. Yes, the whole cap was off. It was quite awful, and but it's being
Oh.
replaced, and it's
Oh,
nobody's
good. Good.
fault. I think it's just postal service somehow. But
Yeah.
this is really beautiful. She based it off of this image that she has always kind of kept in her studio with her, of this woman with one of the big kind of white caps, sort of like the handmade looking caps from the Renaissance. But it's a very musky amber. It's got violet leaf in it, styrax. It's kind of It's kind of clean smelling, but there's some sage in it too. I don't know. I just love the way that she works with incense,
Yeah, yeah,
and there's some benzoin at the bottom of it. I wouldn't say that it's like a clean girl scent at all. It's not that, but there is a sort of effervescence and sort of powderiness with the violet leaf in it. But I'm just obsessed with it. And I'm glad that they're sending me another bottle and that I have this, because when it came, I was like devastated. But yeah,
yeah.
it's made
That's
the ca- it's
disappointing.
made the cap it's made the cover look very cool because it's all like faded and
Oh yeah.
kind of,
It looks like it's a little worse for the wear, like it's already been well loved. It almost looks like a
yeah,
fragrance that you've been wearing like
for
constantly.
years. Yeah, you would
And you're
think.
like,
So,
you've loved the ever living
yeah.
life out of it. And it's just like, yeah, yeah.
No,
Which
it
none
it
of my
just came out.
bottles look like that because they never get enough attention like that from me. Because I'm always
Same,
going from
right?
one to another, you know? That would be like somebody where
Exactly.
they bought it and that's my signature. That's what I'm wearing every day for 2 years. And that's what it looks like at the
Yeah, well, and
end.
my friends always say to me, "Well, you buy the most expensive, like, beauty products and stuff," because I buy Aesop, or I'll buy the, Fisher Sun products and stuff too, and they're like,
Yeah.
"They're so expensive," and I'm like, "Yeah, but they last me for years because I have so many of them that I'm always kind of jumping back and forth," and I'm like, "Oh, it's a Fisher
Yeah.
Sun week," or it's I wanna wear Aesop this week or whatever, so it
Right.
takes me
Right.
forever to get through any of these products, and then it's the same with perfume, which I love. I'm
Yeah.
not mad about it, you know? I'm not trying to blow through anything here, but, um
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's no wrong way to enjoy fragrance. Like I did like I think I did a Substack article like this last year about, people who dictate how your fragrances should be enjoyed. Like, we need to see more dents in your bottles, or else like you can't really
yeah.
talk about that. It's like just like mind your own business, man.
Oh
Like
my
if you
god.
don't if it makes you feel uncomfortable that there's not enough dents in the bottle, like go dent your own.
I mean,
Like,
there are people, myself included, who are like, sometimes this is all I need from a scent, you know?
yeah.
Like, all I need is a scent split sample. I don't want a full bottle, and maybe I wanna buy a second 5 mil, and I'll be happy
Yeah.
with that, you know?
Well,
It's
that's
not
like,
like,
yeah, it's the
who are
same.
these?
Like,
There's no fragrance police, you know? It's, like,
no, there,
crazy.
oh, there's plenty of them who want to, dictate exactly how things should be done, where they should be done, and in what manner.
Yeah.
Like a Figia, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, which is a wonderful house. Like, I was
Mm.
thrilled that they were willing to offer me this discovery kind of stuff. They don't do discovery sets; they do something where they curate it. It's like kind of like you could choose all the ones that you would like to
Mhm.
experience, and they put it together for you. And they were kind enough to offer this to me. It's something that you would ordinarily have to purchase, and it's like, I'm good because like I don't want to spend $400 on the bottle. Like, I'm good with this little
Yeah.
sampler set. These are my bottles. Like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I have two bottles from them, but I mean, I honestly got them. They were selling on eBay because they were discounted because like I didn't
Oh,
want
I
to spend.
mean,
That's the
I
way to
buy a
go,
lot of my
man.
stuff on, like, eBay or some other discount sites. I mean, most of the ones
Okay.
that I'm buying them from are reputable, I'm not just
Right,
whatever,
absolutely.
but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, sometimes that's just the way it is. I mean,
Yeah. Elevated Classic says, you know how I feel about people telling what to.
mm,
Yes, that's like you. I think we can have a really great conversation on that, honestly, because I have a lot of bones to pick with some people who seem to have a lot of opinions on what people should do with fragrance and how they should enjoy it,
mhm,
and evaluating it and quantifying it and qualifying all that kind of stuff. Oh, look, we
yeah.
don't even have enough time to get into that, but I'm sure you, Gregory, as well. You see it, and it's just like, oh man, you're just sucking all the joy out of this.
I mean, it's the same. I mean, it can be said in perfume, and it could be said in basically anything in life
Anything,
almost. It's just
yeah,
like, I have never understood why people have so many opinions about things. I mean, surely this is me having an opinion about something, but it's even just like,
yeah.
somebody commented on a video of mine last night and was like, "Oh, I've never understood why gays sit like this. What's the evolutionary,
How gays
benefit?"
sit like what?
And it was just because I was in like a kind of a squat when I was making my video, and I sit like that every morning because it's good for your mobility. It's called it's either a Slav or an
Oh,
Asian squat,
it's
and
good
it's the
for
way that
you,
most it's the way most people in Japan sit, and
right?
they
Right.
squat. And so I've always done that, and I was just like, why on earth are you here commenting about this?
I
Like, if people just don't.
know.
And then it happens in perfume too, where people are just like you. Somebody will make a video, and it's like, what is it called? I think it's called the bean soup theory too. When it's like someone will be
Yes.
like, "I love this, vanilla fragrance, and it's incredible," and then someone's like, "I like musks," and you're
Right.
like,
I don't like
"Okay,
vanilla.
why are you here?
Why on earth?
I don't
I
want that. I want the vanilla." Or
I, I don't care.
no,
Who
it's
does? You're not
funny.
in the right. The bean soup theory is like really out of hand, and
Yes,
as if like it's such an egregious lack of self awareness where it's like you really do think that whatever you're looking at that moment is really directed toward you,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's not how it works. Like I've come
But you
across
see it on
this
other
plenty.
I see it on other creators' videos and stuff too, where there people will be doing a whole review on one perfume, and then they're just like, "I don't like vanilla fragrances. I want something with licorice in it." And the person
All
who's making
right.
it's like, "This is not that video. Like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?"
yeah.
Anyway, blah, blah,
Good
blah.
luck with that. You can look up hashtag licorice fragrance.
I
Maybe
was
you find something.
I
There's
was
people
gonna
even
ask
still
you.
use them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No,
Hashtags.
go ahead.
I was
Ask
no,
away.
I was gonna ask you if you had tried or smelled any of the Tombstone fragrances.
No, but I did want to mention that I actually have a Chapel Factory. I have Heresy, which I really like. I just
Oh, you
wanted
do?
to.
I have heresy as well. I just didn't bring it out here.
So, what is the one that?
So this is Tombstone,
Okay.
and I found them when I was in Paris at Perfume Week, and
Yep.
they are a an Asian brand, and their other house is Bofang that they do, and I think they might have one other as well.
Hmm.
Um, but Tombstone is really great. They're very some of the notes are kind of frightening. One of them is like stale water, I believe.
Stale water. Mm.
Dead water with moldy cedarwood, nutmeg, willow bark, and apricot. That one's called Sweet Coffin. It's all about basically the process of a body decomposing in a coffin, and
Mm.
life and death. And so all of them are kind of, one's like 3 feet, uh, 3 feet five, and no need to come by. Like they're very like morose and very
It
dark.
does.
And
Yeah.
it was also, I felt bad for them because at the Palais where Perfume Week was, everyone was kind of in the middle of this thing, and then there were some people who were put out around the outside on the
Yeah.
periphery, and they were like in this dark corner, like hidden away, like they were like pushed back there for some reason. And I was like, went back there and I was like, what's happening back here? What are these? The bottles are really kind of incredible, and they
Yeah.
look like
Yeah.
slabs of concrete. And I just they were doing fine, and they're doing fine. Nobody needs to feel sorry for them or anything. But I was intrigued because of that too. It just almost fit that they were back there. But they're very beautiful, I think. A lot of people had a lot to say about them there. Some
Mm.
people were on the fence about them, but I think they're very beautifully made, and I love the blends are just, I don't know, they're dark and they're kind of musty and a bit creepy. So if you're into anything like
Yeah.
that,
I am. I like things that are uncharacteristic
I
of what
think.
a perfume should be. I like those
Mhm.
sort of subversive creations if they're done well. I mean, sometimes
Yes.
they are subversive and they smell horrific, but then
Yeah.
sometimes they're subversive and it's like they really captured this this
Yeah.
effect that they were going for. There's this fragrance from Etoile
Mm.
called Mastaman Oui. The older version that I have has it's like a musty incense, a musty
Mm.
incense. Like it's like, and I know certain people will, would hear musty and it's like, why on earth would I want to walk around smelling musty? But it's the kind of musty you can wear.
Yeah.
And just stick with me. I mean, I know you will, but some people are like, I don't know where he's going with this. But
Mhm.
it's kind of like somehow it works. And Mustum and We, the name as it suggests,
Mhm.
Midnight Mass. is this it's as if you're smelling the inside of like a an old church at midnight mass, and
Mm,
it's really lovely stuff. The newer stuff is really pretty as well, but some of those like that peculiar quality has kind of been sapped away from it in later formulations. So
mm.
I can really appreciate that sort of stellar like like kind of
I
like
love that stuff.
dust and those kinds of things are intriguing to me.
Messed
El-
me. Okay.
yeah, yeah. And it's the newer version's lovely. It's lovely. It's a lot brighter. It's a lot more like it's less melancholy and more bright and happy. And I love that
Mm,
one too. I ended up selling the bottle when I found the vintage version because I was like, why am I gonna have both? But even the newer version's really nice. But if you can find the older version, yeah, it's really something else.
mm.
Elevated classics like Mother's Milk by Eris, kind of gross idea, but done well. No, I just think it's kind of gross. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think it just is. It's just like I can't do and no
I think.
offense, but I just there's some milkiness where it's just too much for me. It's like I like some lectonic quality, like a milky sandalwood or
Mm,
I like that because it goes well with the already kind of like the lactones that are already in they are constituents that are in sandalwood actually, so they kind of harmonize pretty well. I just can't get into that one though. There's something that it's the butyrates, the thing that
mm.
makes milk smell the way it is butyrates. Same thing with cheese.
Right.
And depending upon the individual's olfactory bulb, that could read as milky or it can read as vomit. And to me,
Yeah.
it just goes into kind of like it smells like baby vomit to me. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Spiritica and their true crime-based perfume. Spiritica. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, those are pretty intense. I mean, they've gotten some blowback too lately. They have one called Dahmer, which, everyone was like,
Dahmer.
it's based and the PR for it and everything was very like screenshots from, the murder scenes and all these things. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So,
there's
but
something
I
to
haven't.
be said about pushing the envelope and pushing boundaries
Mhm.
and just being in poor taste. But go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't even smelled them. I haven't had a chance to smell them, but they were working with, It's All About Perfumes. He's a rep for them, I believe, but we can talk about that later.
Yes, let's talk more about that off the record. Okay.
Um,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. Elevated classics. Yes, that's why it's really inappropriate. It's what
Mhm.
we're doing is we're desecrating something that should be left alone. Like we can't.
Mm,
Then I've seen a few brands doing this, and it makes me want to smack them upside the head. Honestly, it's
mm,
like you are not. This is not the kind of thing that this isn't artistry, like I mean it's one thing if you're like I don't know Maplethorpe with Piss Christ or something like that and making a statement like that, which it's like postmodernism. Some of it I like, some of it I don't
right.
like. But when you're doing something like this and it's just like have you no decency, all right, I'll get off my soapbox, but it's just I'm not a fan of that
Mm.
kind of stuff. We have a little bit more time. We can't really. I want us to have the backstage conversation as well before it gets too late for me because I'm 3 hours ahead.
Oh,
So let's talk
yeah,
about just
no.
maybe like a couple more. I'll do one more and you do one more and we'll wrap this up.
Yeah.
Um, oh
Yeah, I need
gosh,
to eat my dinner. It's 8 o'clock here.
right, and it's 11:03 p.m. where I am, and it's hard for me to decide which out of these that I've set aside that I'll talk about. But I suppose what I'll do is I'll share this. It's right here. This is Kanitsa 2. Kanitsa
Mm.
2. From the house that brought you Kanitsa 10, the iconic Kanitsa 10 from the early to mid 20th century. This one came out in the late 70s, and this is also going to be an inaugural spray, but this one was not blind bought. I did get a sample of it first, and I got a sample because Stephen Guntarski, who is
Hmm.
another guest of ours on Nosedive a few months ago and a friend of mine, on one of his videos on his YouTube channel, he mentioned this one. He was discussing this one, and it is very heavy and violet, as in the flower.
Oh,
Um,
wonderful.
so yeah, and I love violet. As a
I
matter
love
of
violet too.
as
Oh,
a matter of fact, I have Violet Mrs. Myers soap in my
oh,
bathroom,
okay.
and it's very nice. Those Mrs. Myers soaps are pretty damn good. Oh, I
Mm.
love this. This smells so not modern, which is what I love about it.
What's the name again? Pardon me. Sorry.
I will type it in the chat as well. It's
Right.
Kanitsa 2.
Oh, right. Okay.
Or what is it if I were to say it in German? Doi? Una, do, beats me.
Yeah, my German is not quite there.
Due. Is it due? Or maybe I'm saying another language. I don't know. Well, at
Pizza
any
to
rate,
Kent. Oh, I see. Yeah. I love that it's just straight up toilet water. That's what they've got on it on the front.
yes, eau de toilette is literally in English toilet water. Thank you,
Yes.
Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
We love the violet, and this is
Yes,
very
this
much
looks
a
incredible.
it's very much like a violet, the flower, like Viola odorata. Okay, can we talk about this
Mm.
as well? Like people get confused. They think it's a fantasy note. Stop picking your blue violets from your lawn and then
Yeah.
expecting them to have a smell. It's not the same
Yeah.
species.
No.
People that do this stuff, like if I had hair still, I would pull my hair out. Viola odorata is the one that has the scent. And to me, when I smell
Hmm.
this, like the top note, it's like exactly like smelling like the violet flower, but it's more than that.
Mm.
It's very much like this dandified kind of aromatic floral scent. Marketed to the
Mm.
gents, but the ladies can certainly enjoy it as well, or any kind of metaphysical expression of gender in between could
Yes.
definitely
And there
enjoy
are
it.
many.
Many expressions, indeed, and they can enjoy this. Very nice. So thank you, Stephen, for the recommendation. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
very nice.
gonna have to look that up. I'm on Iris kick right now as well. Kind of
Ah, yeah, yeah,
obsessed. And, between I think that that was something that was tough for me too at the beginning as I was, pushing against my old lady smells in a way, but now it's like all I can get, and I really didn't even like tuberose for the longest time, and now I'm like I kept just, everyone's just been tuberose. It was like everywhere, over the past like 6 months, and it's rightfully so. It's also been around forever, obviously. It's not like it's some sort of
yeah.
new note, but it's just I being that independent lone wolf or whatever, I was just kind of like, well, I'm not going to like it because everyone else is talking about it right now. And it's just like, shut up, get on the boat and smell some tuberose, and train
Oh,
your nose a
yeah.
bit. So
It,
it's been a journey, but
Zvi,
yeah.
thank you very much. Well, I don't know what is like. This is me fried after a whole day's worth of work. I know it's
Mm.
Vi. What was I doing? Like, this is like my brain has like serious blockage issues sometimes. It's like, yes, Vi.
Hmm.
So Salvador says, do you think there's a significant difference between the vintage Kanitsa 10 and the current one? Have only tried the modern and love it. There isn't too significant of a difference. Most of these differences are negligible, but you know that. Like, don't worry about it. Don't waste your time trying to get a vintage bottle of it. And I mean, I that's a whole
Yeah.
other can of worms as well. As somebody who is a vintage collector too, and near more than half of my fragrances in my collection are actually technically vintage. I wouldn't worry about getting an older version of that. Elevated Classics. Iris, let's talk about Danner and Fleming. I've heard some things about Danner and Fleming. I haven't experienced any of them yet, though.
Either have
Um,
I actually.
yeah, yeah, it's on my to test list. Do you have one more that you can share before we go backstage?
I do, yes.
Okay, perfect.
This was so funny for me because I actually thrifted this at a Salvation Army. And as soon as I saw it, I knew I recognized the name, and then I was like, "Why is this only $12?" And so I just grabbed it. I think that they thought it was, like, really old and then, priced it low. It's, It's a Rania J, Aranya. I don't know how to say it. It's Cœur Andalou. And this is a
Ooh.
really dark, rich leather. It's a bit smoky. There's a lot of violet in it. It's a little bit powdery too. There's some oud. Um, I absolutely love it. There's a lot of castoreum in it as well, and I think
Mm.
she's using real castoreum with some
Mm-hmm.
saffron too, which is just like, I don't know, I need to put some on, I think. It's also like, you know, there's depth to this.
Mm-hmm.
I just love it. The castoreum is really, really, prominent.
Mm.
Um, it has everything I love. It's got iris and patchouli and, it's sandalwood in it and rose. It's like, I don't know, I just whenever I wear it, I feel very for some reason, I always get the vibe of it's raining outside a little bit. It's kind of wet,
Yeah, yeah.
like a oh my god, I almost said like a wet beaver, but that's terrible.
Ah!
But here we are. I don't know, I like it, and I don't tend to lean in that, castoreum kind of, like, direction too often, but there's just something about this that has been puzzling to me, but also very just keeps bringing me back every single time that I smell it. I love it. And for $12, I mean, it was a little
That's
fuller than that, but,
that's crazy I mean,
I
even
know.
so, $12
Yeah,
for that? Yeah,
yeah,
that's a steal.
yeah.
Oh, look at you.
Yes, other people are finding cheap fragrances. I mean, everyone, I must tell you now, like, go to your local thrift stores and look for perfume. Like, my friends are always like, "Oh, how did you find that?" And I'm like, "'Cause I go to the store and look." Like,
Yeah.
you know, some of them, and sometimes it's like that, and they're like $12. And sometimes now you go and they've got like I'm not gonna name names, but let's just say like a drugstore perfume, but they've got like $75 on it, and you're like, "What?" Like, some of the thrift stores have lost their minds.
Oh yeah, they're sometimes the pricing, the reasoning behind the pricing, it's goofy. It's like,
I mean,
what
it's
on earth?
literally my job. I do pricing all day, every day, and I go
Yeah.
to thrift stores and I'm like, "Ma'am, like, you're
Right.
out of your mind." But
Right. Right.
perfumes I find, and often there'll be vintage things there. I mean, you'll also have to probably wade your way through about 100 really shitty Avon fragrances before you get to something nice, but,
Oh,
there are
not
some
all of
good
them are. Oh,
Avons.
yeah, you
I
knew I
know.
was gonna
Yeah.
get.
I
There
know.
are a lot of shitty ones too, but there's some. I have
Yeah.
like, hey, I must have like 14 of them in my library. So, like
Well,
14
you'll
or
have to
15.
let me know what ones I should be
Oh
looking out
yeah,
for
it's the ones
because
that you
I
should look out
always see
for.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll let you know the ones to look out for. If you find a good bottle of Occur, hold on to that one. Occur is
Mm,
awesome. Emprise, a
mm.
lot of them from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah,
God,
this
I'm
one,
sort of like, yeah,
they had, like
there's some really good.
they had a bunch of the ones in the, like, fun containers, like, they had, like, a cat that was, like, holding a ball of perfume and, like, a sailboat that's, like, full of perfume, like,
Oh,
all those they were I think they're, like, the even lower end ones.
yeah, sometimes they'll have like some good ones in sort of like the novelty bottles, but others are just like, like I wouldn't recommend like Sweet Honesty, like. But there's
Right.
some really awesome ones though, like I'm like completely tapped out, but I could totally send you like a list
You
of
can send it to me later.
some of the good ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Very cool. Odyssey, that's another one too. That was from the early
Mm.
80s. That's a really nice one. Why don't we wrap this up so we have a little bit of time backstage before you have to
Yeah.
get your meal and I have to get my
Yeah, I gotta
Z's.
eat here soon for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we need to do. The eating and sleeping are important.
Mhm.
Everybody who is tuned in, thank you very much. Thank you very much for these 4 years of doing live streaming on YouTube.
Mm.
The time has now come to an end. This is it. I am canceling my premium StreamYard subscription because it cost me too much money. I added up the amount of money that I spent on my premium StreamYard subscription and I made a net loss. So I'm moving. If I do live streams, I will be doing them on Substack and I'm going to sort that out,
Mm.
and it will be sometime in autumn. But I will continue to keep the YouTube channel active, and I'm gonna try to have some videos on here like once a month. Try to do that. Just do a check-in, to keep it an active YouTube channel because I don't want it to go away. I'm sure people don't want it to go away either. So stay tuned for that. All right, we're going to sign off. I'm going to put on that theme music. See, this is, I'm like the, see, that's the theme music, and
There we
then I put the outro music. So it's been wonderful, Gregory.
go.
Thank you for being my final guest.
I am honored, and it was super fun, and I'm glad we got to chat with everybody else too. Nice to meet you all virtually. Come say hi over on my account and stuff. But yeah, this was great. I really appreciate it. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. And folks, I have a whole archive of playback. I have 3 seasons of Effluvium and these 9 great episodes of Nosedive. The guys from Stell, Tracy One, Invisible Stories, Stephen Gontarski, A Track Tate, aka Roman. A lot of great episodes for you to enjoy. So enjoy those and take care. All right, bye bye now. Stay backstage. I'll be with you in a sec. Take care, everyone.